let's talk about how to create a high-quality digital lesson plan. As classrooms are quickly transitioning to digital learning environments, a teacher can spend hours scouring the web to locate digital resources to use in their lessons. With the integration of technology, student engagement is no doubt going to increase. However, the key to a high-quality lesson is not simply adding technology. It's about what the technology adds to the delivery and overall understanding of the content. So integrating technology still requires a lesson plan that's going to follow best practices. In this video, I'm going to be talking about each one of those digital lesson plan components and also sharing some resources that can help you if you decide to use this method. First, your lesson needs to start with an introduction, engage and excite the learner with the lesson hook, help students understand the focus of the lesson and/or connect new content to known content. This may include sharing a video clip, a digital image, or even a parody of a popular song that was rewritten about a standard. Some resources that you can use are Flocabulary, YouTube, and TeacherTube. Here is what the Flocabulary site looks like. You can join and have a subscription to Flocabulary, but I did want you to know that there's many free songs and videos. Basically, it's educational hip-hop. They've taken a lot of topics that have to do with the standards, and then they've turned them into different types of hip-hop songs that the kids really do love. If your district blocks YouTube, then make sure to go ahead and use TeacherTube, because you're going to find many resources to kick off your lesson within TeacherTube. When I mentioned about adding a parody of a song, either in TeacherTube or even in YouTube, just type in the name of the standard that you're going to be covering. For instance, if I was covering rounding, and then type the word parody after it, and you'd be surprised the results that you're going to find. Next, we move on to instruction. This is the I do portion of the gradual release model. The teacher should provide direct and explicit instruction and model thinking and activities. There are several sites that provide powerful digital curriculum that include relevant text, images, videos, links, and other directions for various concepts of study. Here we see many tools and sites to look for digital content and curriculum. I'm going to be covering just a few of them so that you can see some of the sources that are out there. EduCreations is one site that I highly recommend to teachers because it taps into when a teacher in a classroom anywhere in the globe has recorded a tutorial. You can access their gallery so that you can take a look at other tutorials that have been created. If you have an iPad, you can actually download the EduCreations app and you can create your own tutorials to then add to your digital lessons. It's considered part of a flipped classroom or flipped learning. Another great site that I've discovered is Power My Learning. This site is great because up at the top where it says Explore Activities and Playlists, you can find things in all categories of K through 12 and subjects, and as it says, it's all aligned to the Common Core. So they've gone out and they've found different interactive games or interactive activities that you could either use for instruction or activities as part of your lesson. The last one that I was going to highlight is LearnZillion. This one, as it says, is the world's first open cloud-based curriculum. What's great about it is that many of the videos are actually also available through YouTube and also in TeacherTube. But you can access, again, different teacher tutorials or introductions on different types of standards. There are many new digital curriculum resources that are out there, and I always suggest to teachers to follow my Pinterest board. If you type into Pinterest FT Tech Integration, I have a board that is down here that says High Quality Digital Lesson Resources. If you follow that board, anytime that I come across a new site, that's where I'm constantly adding new resources. The next piece is activities or interaction. A portion of the lesson must include students interacting and engaging with the content. They can't just read or watch the teacher. This is the student-centered we do portion of the lesson. Include at least one of the following types. And we've got student-to-student interaction, where students can collaborate on projects, in discussions, etc. I have some different choices there. You're going to see Today's Meet, which is an online discussion tool. Google Docs also provides that feature. A new one that's pretty new out there on the market is called TriCiter. So you may want to take a look at one of those three. For student-to-teacher interaction, the teacher can provide quality feedback to students. In Google, they've got a lot of options. If your classroom or if your district is using Google Classroom, Google Docs, and Google Forms, those are easy ways to have that student-to-teacher interaction. Your district may use an LMS, which is a learning management system. So then you have Canvas or Edmodo. There's also some other LMSs out there, but they all have that same feature where the student and the teacher can interact. The third one is student content interaction. Students can engage with the content and/or resources. There are several different options out there. Video Notes is a great one because it allows you to have a video on one side and a Google Doc right next to it so that you can take notes. Zaption and Edpuzzle are great tools because they allow you to take a video, pause it, add questions, and any other type of media within it. So again, it's not just showing a video, you're actually interacting with it. Also, don't count out QR codes. If you come up with an activity where the students are having to, actively move to do an activity where they're scanning QR codes to tap into different content, that's also a great option. Next is assessment. You want to evaluate the learner and drive future instruction with formative and/or summative assessments. This can include a variety of options depending on the devices that are available in your classroom. So if you have a smartphone or tablet, then I would highly recommend using Plickers. As their website states, it's a powerful, simple tool that's going to let teachers collect real-time formative assessment data without the need for a student device. They're called Plickers because they're actually paper clickers. So they act kind of like a QR code, but as the students hold them up in the classroom, a teacher can use simply just their smartphone and scan to get student responses. It is very cool, and again, I highly recommend it if you are not one-to-one in your classroom. If you have access to a lab, a cart, or you are fortunate to be one-to-one, then I'm sure you would want to take a look at Kahoot and Pear Deck. These two are very similar, but what they do is they allow you to interact with the students. You can add content, a link to a video, but also have quiz questions. But the students can give you real-time responses with their devices. Of course, Google Forms is always a great option whenever you're wanting to get access to different types of assessment data as well. The last component is the extension piece, and that's to provide support for both struggling and advanced learners. I would look within the sites that were mentioned within the introduction and instruction components and look for additional resources that you can utilize to help those students. Are you ready to get started? If you are, you can take a look at a high-quality digital lesson plan template that I have created on BlendSpace. If you are one-to-one, have that cart or that type of environment, you may want to create your lessons within Nearpod or ClassKick.